Chapter 1. Truck-kun's newest victim.
Good morning, class. Please turn in your homework from last night. Long division assignment, pages 36 through 64.
Mr. Barnes had that tone. The one that meant business. The one that made everyone suddenly very interested in their backpacks. I sighed. Apparently a little too loud. Mr. Barnes' eyes found me like heat-seeking missiles. He set down his coffee mug slowly, deliberately, the way teachers do when they want you to feel every second of what's coming.
Mika.
He said my name like it was its own complete sentence.
Let me guess.
I felt the heat crawl up my neck before I could stop it. I gave him my best sheepish grin, the one that had gotten me out of at least 40% of situations like this. Maybe 45.
The vampire murderer,
he said. The class erupted. Not mean laughter exactly, the kind that happens when everyone knows the joke and you're standing in the middle of it. Kenji in the back row did that thing where he fake coughed my name. Maya just shook her head, like I was a lost cause she'd given up on months ago. I sank a little lower in my seat. Mr. Barnes held up a hand, and the room settled. He looked at me with that expression teachers get when they're trying to decide between disappointed and genuinely concerned.
Mika, it is perfectly fine to have a hobby.
He paused for effect.
It is not perfectly fine to read during my class, during lunch, during PE, during what I can only assume was also during your sleep based on the circles under your eyes.
Another pause.
Your schoolwork comes first. I'll give you until tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Barnes, I said quietly.
Don't thank me. Do your homework.
The rest of the school day passed in the way school days do when your brain has decided it would rather be literally anywhere else. Teachers talked, boards got written on, someone's lunch in the microwave smelled like regret. I sat through all of it with the vampire murderer open in my lap under my desk, heart hammering every time a teacher walked past, turning pages carefully like I was diffusing something. By the time the final bell rang, I had finished chapter 37. Kenji caught up with me at the door.
You're gonna fail math.
Probably. I agreed.
The vampire murderer isn't even that good.
I stopped walking and looked at him with what I hoped was the full weight of my disappointment. Kenji, Lord Valdris just turned the entire merchant guild into his personal blood bank and framed the king for it. That is literature. Kenji stared at me for a moment.
You need help.
I need chapter 38, I corrected, and pushed through the doors into the afternoon. The sun was doing that thing where it sits low enough to be annoying, but high enough that you can't really complain about it. I pulled the vampire murderer out of my bag before I'd even cleared the front steps. Chapter 38. Lord Valdris was consolidating power in the eastern provinces. The political maneuvering alone was... Here's the thing about reading while walking. You stop seeing anything that isn't the page. The words, the world, Lord Valdris's beautifully constructed web of manipulation. All of it so much more real than the sidewalk, the street, the very large truck that apparently decided today was the day. Lord Valdris was just about to spring the trap. One moment I was reading. The next, nothing. The nothing lasted a while. Then sensation came back. Not all at once. In pieces. The way feeling returns to a limb that's fallen asleep. First, just the awareness of existing. Then temperature. Then something that was supposed to be my body but wasn't quite right. Wasn't right at all. Actually. I took stock slowly, the way you do when you're not sure what you're going to find. 2 hands, 2 feet, a spine that went from here to there. All of it, gone. Instead, I felt wide, flat, my edges extended somewhere I couldn't locate, and the thing that should have been a chest had become something else entirely, something that didn't breathe so much as existed in the water around it, that registered the cold not as a sensation on skin, but as a fact, a pressure, a quality of the medium I was apparently floating in. I had wings. Not bird wings, not anything that had a word in the 14 years of vocabulary I'd accumulated. They were my sides now, broad and angled, and when I tried to flex my fingers, nothing moved that was supposed to move, but something else did. Something at the very edges of me, answering the impulse with a slow ripple that tilted my entire body sideways. I overcorrected, listed the other direction, went still. Okay, so, wings. And water, definitely water. I tried to take a breath and discovered that wasn't how this worked anymore either. I didn't need to. That was possibly the strangest part, the absence of the need, the way my body was just quietly handling whatever it was doing without requiring my input. I was breathing the way fish breathe, which is to say, I wasn't thinking about it at all, which was deeply unsettling when I started thinking about it. I stopped thinking about it. I floated in the dark water and tried to figure out if I was dead. I didn't feel dead. I felt flat and cold and extremely confused, which seemed like too much sensation for dead. Dead, I had always assumed, was more like the nothing. The nothing had been very nothing. This was decidedly something. And then the words appeared. Not in front of my eyes, but somehow inside them. Blue-white text floating in the dim water, like a message projected directly into my brain.
System activation detected. Initializing. Welcome, Mika.
I stared at it.
We regret to inform you that Truck-kun has claimed another victim.
Truck-kun. The truck. The very large truck. The one I hadn't seen because I had been reading. Oh, I thought. Oh no.
Your soul has been flagged for reincarnation. Standard processing would have delivered you to the world of the vampire murderer as a background character in Chapter 12, specifically as Merchant Aldrich's third cousin, who appears once and is never mentioned again. However, due to a clerical error on Floor 7 of the Reincarnation Bureau, we are not at liberty to disclose what happened on Floor 7. You have instead been reincarnated as a spotted eagle ray on Earth 6214. For the inconvenience of this error, you have been granted 1 active system interface, 1 beginner's guide, 1 newbie package, content sealed. We apologize for any inconvenience. Good luck.
I processed this for a long moment. I had died, hit by a truck while reading Chapter 38 of The Vampire Murderer. I had died, and instead of getting to find out what happened with the Merchant Guild and the Eastern Provinces and whether Lord Valdris's trap actually worked, I had been reincarnated on the wrong planet as the wrong species due to what the Bureau was calling, with truly extraordinary restraint, a clerical error. I was a ray. I was a flat fish creature floating in an ocean I did not recognize on a planet called Earth 6214. And then the shock finished cycling through whatever passed for my nervous system now, and what replaced it was something considerably louder. Wait, what? I'm a fish? What in the actual hell is this? I did not ask for this. I did not sign anything. I want to speak to a manager right now. A pause. Then the system responded with an energy I was not prepared for.
Noted. Escalating complaint to Bureau Oversight. Please hold.
I held. What else was I going to do? I didn't even know how to properly move this body yet. I was just sort of existing in water, being flat, trying not to think too hard about the fact that I no longer had a spine in any traditional sense. Several minutes passed.
Your complaint has been reviewed by Bureau Oversight. Their response is as follows. The slot in the vampire murderer has been filled. Merchant Aldrich's third cousin is already someone else. Furthermore, the Bureau would like to point out that the user is, in fact, alive, which is statistically better than the alternative. The Bureau considers this matter resolved. If you would still like to change your situation, please close your eyes and mentally state, "I want to change."
Oh, I am doing that right now. I closed whatever I had that passed for eyes and thought as hard as I could. I want to change. Something happened. A shift. A pulling sensation, like the universe briefly considered it. Then it stopped.
Change request processed. Result: no eligible slots available in any system-compatible world within acceptable reincarnation parameters. Secondary result: you are still a Ray.
And then I felt the newbie package disappear. Just gone. Like someone snatching something out of my hands. Are you serious right now? The system's response came back faster this time. Sharper.
Users submitted a change request despite having been granted a functional system, electromagnetic detection abilities, a defensive tail capable of delivering a medically significant venom, and a second chance at life in a healthy body. The newbie package has been temporarily suspended, pending user demonstrating basic gratitude. Additionally, continuing to escalate to management for a situation that management has already reviewed and closed will not produce different results. It will produce increasingly shorter responses from this system. You have been given a gift. We suggest using it.
I wanted to scream. I genuinely wanted to open my mouth, my weird, flat, Ray mouth that I was still figuring out where exactly it was located, and just absolutely lose it. But something in that last message stopped me. We suggest using it. I floated there in the dark water, being flat, being a Ray, being very much not in math class, and not in the vampire murderer, and not anywhere I had expected to be this afternoon. Fine, I thought. Fine. The system seemed to sense the shift in me. When it responded again, the tone was not warmer exactly, but less sharp.
Thank you. Displaying current status. Itabatus narinari. Common. Spotted eagle ray. Level 1. EXP 0/50. Stats. Health 17/20. Mana 0/0. Abilities. Electromagnetic detection. Passive, active. Venomous barbed tail. Active, locked, level 3. Evolutions, none yet. Warning, user starving. Locate mollusks or crustaceans immediately.
I stared at the health bar. 17 out of 20. 3 points missing before I'd done anything at all. Why am I already at 17? I thought at the system. I haven't even moved yet.
The soul transfer and reincarnation process is metabolically taxing.
The system replied.
Additionally, you were adrift for some time before system activation completed, approximately 40 minutes. A body without direction loses condition. The starving status is compounding the deficit.
40 minutes. I had been floating, unconscious, in an ocean for 40 minutes before the system even turned on. That explains the health. It did not make me feel better about the health. I need to eat something, I thought.
Yes.
The system said, with the energy of something that had already told me this and was glad I'd caught up.
Your electromagnetic detection is active. Focus. You will perceive the electrical fields of living organisms around you. Follow them.
Electromagnetic detection. Right. The ability listed in the stat block. Passive, already running. I didn't know how to focus with a brain that currently lived in a flat body with wings instead of arms. But I tried. I went still. Stiller than I already was. And I stopped thinking about Mr. Barnes and Truck-kun and Floor 7 of the Reincarnation Bureau and Lord Valdris and everything else. And then I felt it. The world lit up. Not with light, with something else entirely. Pulses. Tiny electrical signatures firing in the water around me like a map drawn in lightning. Dozens of them, hundreds maybe. The hidden heartbeats of everything alive in the water nearby. I could feel something small to my left, the slow chemical churn of something buried in the sand beneath me, the distant rhythmic pulse of something much larger moving far away in the dark. I did not want to think about that last one. The small thing buried in the sand was close and stationary, and radiating the electrical signature of something that was very much alive and very much not paying attention. A mollusk. I knew somehow that it was a mollusk. The system had loaded that knowledge into me along with whatever passed for muscle memory in these wings, the deep biological certainty of a predator that recognized its prey. I moved toward it. Moving was strange, deeply strange. I had spent 14 years understanding that forward motion required legs and the alternating push of feet against ground. Now, I rippled. My whole body became the motion, the wings I had discovered rising and falling in a rhythm that felt like breathing, like something I had always known and was only now remembering. The water pushed back against my edges, and I pushed back against the water, and we came to an arrangement. I almost ran into a rock. Overcorrected, spun sideways, did something undignified that I will not be describing in detail. But then I found the rhythm. The subtle tilt of one side, the answering lift of the other, the way my whole body became the direction I wanted to go. The mollusk's electrical signature grew stronger. Closer. Right there in the sand below me. I hesitated for exactly 1 second. Then I reminded myself I was starving. I had 17 health points, and dignity was a concept that belonged to people who still had spines in the traditional sense. I ate the mollusk. It tasted like ocean and salt and survival and something I was going to have to make my peace with, because I had a feeling this was going to be my diet for the foreseeable future.
Notification. EXP gained, +1. Current EXP, 150. Health restored, +1. 1820.
I floated there for a moment, processing the number. 1 experience point. 49 to go before level 2. 3 health points still missing, which meant 2 more mollusks before I stopped being technically in deficit. And somewhere above me, the surface of the ocean moved with light I could sense but not yet see. And somewhere below me, the seafloor stretched away into distances I had no map for yet. And somewhere, in a world I would apparently never reach, Lord Valdris was consolidating power in the eastern provinces without me. I thought about that for a moment. Then I thought about the electrical map, still lighting up the world around me. Dozens of signatures, hundreds maybe, a whole ocean full of things I could feel before I could see them. The mollusk to the south, the cluster of something near the rock formation to the east, the faraway pulse of the large thing I was choosing not to think about.
49 experience points to level 2.
And then whatever came after that.
And after that,
The world, I thought, slowly, might actually be my oyster, in a more literal sense than I had previously considered. That was when the system chimed again.
Notice: User Behavioral Assessment complete. Result: Acceptance of current situation detected. As such, the newbie package has been restored. Please find enclosed 1. Newbie package. Contents as follows. Beginner's Guide to Electromagnetic Detection. Interactive. Ocean Current Navigation. Volume 1. Local Predator Identification and Avoidance. Strongly recommended. Evolution Path Preview. Locked until level 5. Emergency System Contact. 3 uses remaining. And 1 bonus item, added by Bureau Oversight as an additional apology for the Floor 7 incident. The Vampire Murderer. Complete Collection. All 847 chapters, including the unreleased ending. Available for mental reading during rest periods. Note: Lord Valdris wins. You're welcome.
I went completely still in the water. All 847 chapters, including the unreleased ending. I didn't have hands anymore. I didn't have a face that could properly express what I was feeling. I was a flat, cartilaginous fish creature, floating in an ocean on a planet called Earth 6214 with 18 health points and 1 experience point to my name. But somewhere in whatever passed for my chest right now, something that felt a lot like joy did a complicated little flip. Maybe, I thought, Floor 7 wasn't entirely a disaster after all. I ate another mollusk. EXP, 2/50. Let's get to work.